live.
No, we aren't. Are we live? We are.
I think
we
we're
do it
live.
live, and that's what this is about. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Streaming 101, creating a one-year business plan for your stream. This is, on my far left, Jared Huckaby. He's the community manager for Cloud Imperium Games, the creator of Star Citizen. Right to my left, woo! Crowdfunding.
Did you actually work with Mark Hamill? Have you met the guy?
I have met Mark Hamill.
Ooh. Is he a nice guy?
Also, John Rhys Davies called him Santa.
Yes,
So
and John Rhys Davies did call me Santa.
You've met all of the Star Wars, haven't you? You've met Lando, you've met Mark Hamill.
A picture
You
of
get
me
the
and
full
Billy Williams
collection.
on my phone.
Yeah, so check that game out. This is Edward Lewis. He's the community manager for Elite Dangerous, community content manager.
And the astute amongst you might notice that means that the two warring space sim guys are next to each other right now. It turns out we're best of friends.
It's adorable. Terrible. And I am BadNewsBaron, a.k.a. Matt. I am the creator of Stream Academy, which is a new course designed to help people who are just starting out in their streams. And I myself am a full-time partnered Twitch streamer. I've been doing this for about a year and a half as my full career. So I'm going to try to share with you guys the roadmap that I've made that I never had. So these guys are going to be helping me out, specifically showing the developer side of things, what they look for with content creators, and how you can engage them a little bit better and form those relationships, even as if you're a smaller broadcaster all the way up to larger broadcasters, what they look for. So let's go ahead and do
Just
it.
before we begin, can we give Matt a huge round of applause, please, guys? Because he spent so long getting this sorted out. Louder, come on! Woo! Can we do a real quick thing as well, just before? I just want to see people's show of hands. How many of you guys are streaming already, on a regular basis? Okay.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. And I think that's really, I was saying this just before we started, and I don't want to derail your thing at all.
Do it.
But, it just goes to show that a lot of people want to stream. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, you right? Thank
You told me to do my thing.
Oh, sorry, you're doing your thing. Okay.
you do that.
I think my point is, as well, like you were
animal.
saying before, that this isn't like a get-rich-quick. This is
No.
how to be famous.
So let's manage expectations right up front. This is not about getting internet famous. This is not about getting rich fast from the internet. This is none of those things. This is just to give you a guide so that you know what kind of direction to go in, specifically if you're putting yourself out there and you're just a little bit confused about where you can go. We can give you sort of the tools and the language to do what you do, but your mileage will vary. So we got to get that right out of the way. So. Thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank all you guys for coming out here as well. This is amazing turnout. This is the biggest crowd I've sat in front of live. So being in front of 2,000 people on a stream is a little bit different than being full of a big community hall like this. This is fun.
We had an over-under of 8 people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I took the over.
Just barely. Just barely hit the over. All right, let's jump into this. We have this structured out into month-by-month basis as far as what sort of things you should focus on month by month. You don't have to do it month by month, and probably you shouldn't. But if you were to focus really, really strongly on one thing, this will be the topics. So let's go over to the overall project. This is the 12-month cycle. We call it a cycle because your process of learning and growing and refining what you do in your brand and your product never really ends. You always have to keep doing it. But over the course of the year, this is sort of what you do, and it's helpful every January or whenever you start this to come back. So first of all, you need to watch. You need to watch lots of streamers. You need to figure out what else is out there, what people are doing. You need to figure out who you are as a content creator, what your identity is, what you are good at, what your niche is. You need to become a marketer. You need to learn more about marketing. Even professional marketers are always trying to learn more because it's a constantly changing industry. As we get new tools to interact with our audiences and our customers, we learn better ways to engage them and how to refine sort of the social aspect of this thing. You need to look for opportunities and find your space. You, as people, change as time goes on. Everybody changes, their interest changes, their skill set changes. So it's always worthwhile to go by and try to really make sure that you are inhabiting your space the best that you can, that you are specific, and that you are creating a good message. It's good to spend a while focusing on your community. Assemble a support group of your moderators, of other streamers who can help you out and be a sounding board for your ideas. You should always go through once a month and monetize. Just approach how you're doing monetization if you are at that point with your stream. Review how you have things like your Game Wisp or your Patreon page set up, your affiliate programs and things. We'll get into all this stuff very, very granular. Spend a month focusing on your brand specifically. So you can, when we say this, by the way, we mean push everything else out of your mind. Like just forget about the other stuff for just a little while so you can really hone in on this. So your actual brand identity, the assets that you create as part of that. If you have a style guide, making sure that's all refined. You know, companies go through and they remake their logos. It's the same sort of thing. Querying developers, if you find that you are getting a little bit lax on looking for what opportunities are down the road, it's always helpful to go and do that and just make sure that you're really, really doing a great job of you getting yourself out there. It's always good to refine your product, to really review yourself. It's amazing how many streamers don't actually watch their own content and analyze their stuff. You are putting out a show, so like a lot of professional comedians, for example, will watch highlights and keep going back over and over and over through their content, trying to figure out where they can improve. It's a good thing to do. And then, of course, getting ready for conventions, because this is the most fun part of being a streamer, is getting to meet all you cool individuals out there. So let's go through. So year one, this is sort of what your cycle will look like, and then year two, you're going to be doing this on sort of a smaller scale. So let's do it. Let's go through, and we're going to try to take some questions at the end and get so many of you guys' questions answered. All right, so month one, watching. In month one, you really need to stop worrying about growing your channel. Whether you are just about to start out or you are already a broadcaster, for the next 4 weeks, just stop caring about if you are hitting a plateau, okay? Don't worry about the fact that you may not be growing the way that you want to. If you're growing really awesome, that's great, that's fantastic, but push it out of your mind because you need to sit down and watch a lot of content, consume as much as you can. You don't have to just consume Twitch streams, by the way, to look for how to perform as an entertainer. You can go and watch Late Night, you can watch Conan, you can watch I don't watch any others. I like Craig Ferguson. That's fine. I'm not a huge fan of these people.
Norton.
Noah, The Daily Show. You can go watch Colbert. You can do all this stuff. Really figure out what you like.
Graham Norton.
Graham Norton.
Graham Norton. Any Graham Norton fans? Yeah, Graham Norton. I want Graham Norton to get the loudest cheer of the day. Graham Norton, yeah! Woo!
The Brit would say that.
Leave it to the English guy to bring up Graham Norton.
He's fantastic.
He's pretty good.
Thank you.
I don't even know. I
Thank
just
you
made
for
up a
that.
name and then everyone's cheering it. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
So, no, it's fine. We're gonna roll through this. We got a lot to talk about. So yeah, look outside of Twitch. I think that's helpful because there is innovation in other industries that can help you out as a Twitch broadcaster. If you really, really like the Daily Show with Jon Stewart and you used to love that, go back and watch that and figure out what qualities you liked about him as an entertainer and see how you can incorporate that into your own performance. So, in Twitch itself, do the same sort of thing. Go and watch the big guys. Whether you really love to watch Co-Carnage every single day, and you love ItMeJP or Ezekiel and all those fantastic guys, try to actually, on a clinical level, sit down and analyze what they're doing and how you can model them. So, what aspects of their show, the way that they engage with their viewers, not necessarily trying to steal bits out of their acts, right? But seeing how you can interpret things for you, what makes sense for you. So spend the month doing that. It's a good first foundation for you to make. Month two, actually focus and find your identity, which is, again, when we work with new streamers, a lot of people don't really take time to figure out who they are and what their message is. So go through and find out what are your strengths and weaknesses. Is there a particular game genre or niche that you can become a go-to guy for? And we talk about this sort of stuff in the Academy as there's already a really a bunch of A-list streamers already. It's going to be hard to try to break into that top tier. It doesn't really happen much anymore. But if you can become sort of nobody's going to become Elohim, but if you can be like the Elohim of like Western RPGs or whatever like your thing is, go do that. Find your voice. Do you have any hobbies or special interests that can become part of your show? Whether you like cooking, you want to do a cooking show once a month. I think Giant Waffle does the painting of figurines on his stream, and people absolutely love it. They go crazy for it. If you have these other interests, work them in. Because chances are your viewers will also share those interests with you, and they can bond with you over that.
There was a broadcast where Matt here built a desk on stream for 8 hours, and he had hundreds of people watching him build a desk. And that's because they'd connected with his identity just as much as the
a desk
games
builder
that he does. And it wasn't a very good desk.
Oh, it's horrible.
I mean, the whole time we're watching it, it's like you're partially watching like, hey, we like Matt.
It's not level.
And it's also like, this is a disaster. This is not going well. So that's all part of his identity, though.
Yeah.
Your identity doesn't have to be competent, by the way. You can be... Just look at how people love Mr. Bean, right? He's not very good at anything, and he is just such a sweetie. There you go. Yeah. We're trying to throw you a bone here. I know that you're underrepresented. Yeah. So, yeah. If you have hobbies or special interests, work them in, make them part of your identity. If you were like super into, I was talking to a guy yesterday who raises chickens, and is that you over there? Yes. So, I mean, that's his thing. So, like, a lot of streamers have pets and stuff. They have cats and they have dogs, and you'll see, like, cat cam in the corner. Real cats. This is my cats right now. He's going to do that with his chickens. How cool is that going to be? I'd love to watch some chickens on Twitch. That'd be good. Yes, well done. Thank you very much for that.
I'm excited. So I think it's going back to that point as well that we made at the start when people put their hands up. You saw how many of you guys want to stream, so I think it really is important to find an identity and sort of find the thing that makes you stand out slightly. Like, for example, Matt here, you kind of started out at least. I don't know if BadNewsBaron, your channel, you still just focusing on space streams?
Yes.
And now obviously that's the reason why we're here now. And I'll go into these details a little bit later on from a developer's perspective. But obviously we're here now helping Matt out because he's asked us and he's become friends with us and he's focused on space streams. So we really care about what he does. And so we're wholeheartedly behind him the whole way. And that's going to help out you a lot as well when we're like, shouting about you from our social media channels and putting you on our website and things like that. So I think just finding that niche and then really, really going for it. I think it's really important. I don't know if you get into more about niches later, and I've just derailed you entirely.
Oh, yeah. No, you've derailed this entire thing. We can go home now.
I'll leave.
That's good. You sort of need that identity. There's so many people out there who are streaming, who want to stream, and the majority of them really are sitting down in front of the camera and just playing the game. We can't do that anymore because there's thousands upon thousands. So you have to have a unique identity. And what's good about genre streaming, I'm a genre streamer. I don't try to do straight up variety. I really try to focus it to space and sci-fi because that's my thing. That's easier to package and sell both to viewers and to developers. So I'm not a huge streamer by any means. I'm sort of a mid-sized partner. I have about 28,000 followers. I have 1,000 subscribers. It's not huge. I get like maybe 400 viewers when I stream. But I can still reach out and talk to developers, especially when they're in that space or sci-fi niche, and say, hey, I've got an audience that is built for you. They are really, really engaged with what you are doing, and they will respond to that. Even if they normally work with exclusively larger people, they will understand the importance of having that sounding board of enthusiasts who are there, who probably will buy, or if they're kickstarting, support that extra mile.
Even if that first response is, who are you?
Yeah, which happens. Don't be afraid of rejection. That happens.
But we investigate. We'll check you out. We'll see what you do. We'll go through your the saved videos on your Twitch stream and whatnot. And if you've got a strong identity and you've got something to say and you've got something to add to the project and the overall experience for our players, we'll definitely be making contact.
Yeah, and from my point of view as well, it's like size actually isn't everything, although, I'm told that a few times. Anyway, size isn't everything. Actually, effort is more important than high numbers, I would say.
Yeah.
And like somebody who engages, somebody who is nice, somebody who replies to me fondly and is enthusiastic, that is so important to me. So like if I see that they've got like you say, a solid brand, a good brand, and we might go into this a little bit later on, I don't know, but it's more important than somebody who has 2 million subscribers that may ignore me, if you know what I mean. And also, if you find the right kind of developer as well, and the right kind of publisher, if you're emailing EA or something like that, you're probably not going to get any response at all, because they're just going to be like, we only deal with the guys with like 2 million plus subscribers. But if you're finding the guys with the niche games, with the rising indie games, the rising up sort of mid-tier games, they need you just as much as you need them. We really want to be speaking to these guys who have the sort of 20 to 50,000 level of subscribers, lower, like 5. It doesn't, honestly, the number is irrelevant. If you're out there showing that you're going to do good work and do a good job, be enthusiastic, be supportive, be friendly, and be nice, then I'm going to want to work with you and want to help you. So that is really, really important. Also to know that like I say, we want to hear from you. Please do contact us. Specifically, email me, please, right now. No, I'm joking. But no, we want to hear from you, developers, too. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. No, it's all absolutely accurate. What matters most to us is the quality of the content, not how many viewers that you have. If you're doing good work, if you're doing solid work that's positive and sends a good message for our product, we're going to respond to that.
There's a solid rooting for the underdog factor for independent game developers.
100%.
Like, just it's there. They want to see, especially if you can get passionate about whatever product that they're putting out. Yeah. That means a lot. If you're working hard and you're trying to promote a game, they're going to respond to that. Yeah.
And I want to add, when I say a positive message, I don't mean rah-rah cheerleading. You can be critical of the project. We respond to that just as well. When I say positive, I mean it's good-natured, it's constructive, it's well-reasoned. It's not just rage and fire. You can be just as critical of our games as you are supportive, and we will still respond in equal measure if you're doing it constructively and positively.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. We're only on month 2.
We're only on month 2. We got to speed through this. Finishing this out, you need to figure out what your goals are as a broadcaster in terms of whether or not you really want to do this full time, whether or not you want to do this as a hobbyist, what sort of audience you want to cultivate. You need to figure out these things. Put them down on paper. Try to figure out where you want to go. And don't make these date-based goals or really number-based goals. If you try to set a specific follower count goal, like I want to hit 5,000 followers in 1 month from now. Like I want to add that much to my channel. And then you don't get there. Not only may you be more discouraged at the end of that, but chances are in the process along the way, you will have focused on the wrong thing. You may be focused more on the numbers than actually in engaging your community. You will have downswings and upswings as broadcasters. You can't really, there are things you can do to mitigate them, but there's also content twins, within viewership on Twitch itself. So you just have to understand how to roll with the punches and really make sure you're focusing on the right thing. If you buckle down and you really pay attention to your audience, it will grow over time. It will have that upward trend, even if it does dip from time to time. And if you are, again, an existing broadcaster, you need to figure out what sets you apart, especially from the other people in your space. You need to do some soul searching on this thing because it's not an easy subject to get to. And then it's also helpful to figure out what your audience also watches, what games your audience likes, what broadcasters they like, and try to see if there are any opportunities there. Moving on to month 3, become a marketer. We talked about this very briefly. Look outside the broadcast industry to figure out how to approach business from a higher level. My background before I was a streamer, I was a brand manager at a marketing agency. I took what I learned there and I'd applied it to streaming. The sort of lessons that you learn in the business world are absolutely applicable to streaming. A lot of us sort of love video games and we get out there and we focus on just talking to people in the games, but there's a very large behind the scenes sort of a rule set going on about how viewers interact with you, how they convert from viewer to follower to donator to subscriber if you're a partner. There are still trends and theories in this field that apply to streamers. So if you take these ideas and you start moving them into your content, you will find that you engage with your audience at a more sophisticated level. Reading books on personal development and business management are extremely helpful. It's an idea that again, not many broadcasters get into. But if you start reading books about how to be a good leader, how to be a good entrepreneur, this is stuff that you can translate and apply to Twitch. These ideas are universal, and learning the vocabulary of marketers and entrepreneurs will let you not only understand your own trends better, but they will let you communicate to developers better because they're also worried about engagement rates and numbers, and there are certain metrics that they are concerned about in their jobs. So when you can communicate on their level and get to the heart of what they're sort of concerned about on a day-to-day basis, you can improve that conversation, and they will appreciate and respect you for it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
just a really solid point.
Yeah, so I got some books here that I recommend. Inbound Marketing by Brian Halligan. This is sort of a must-read for streamer, I think. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a classic. Stephen Covey, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie, I think those were like the 30s. It's still applicable to what we do as streamers. There's a marketer named Seth Godin, who is a really big thought leader. He wrote a book called Tribes and also The Purple Cow. These are fantastic. And also, this one's a little bit more cliche, but Tony Robbins, Get the Rah-Rah in your own life. Go read Unlimited Power because creative individuals they get bummed out easily. We really do. Man, I hate myself. Yeah.
I hate you too.
It's a daily struggle.
I took offense when he called us friends.
I live in delusions. We all have to. Month 4, look for opportunities. Take a month to seriously evaluate the games that you play and determine whether they're going to align with your personal goals for growth. If you love League of Legends and that's your jam, but you're worried that you're not growing fast, you're playing League of Legends. There's a million people playing League of Legends. You're not going to grow fast. There's things that we can do to optimize your chances for retaining viewers, so that the traffic that you do get will be good and sustainable. That they'll keep returning back. That they'll become fans. You can optimize your growth, but if you're in a saturated market, you're going to grow more slowly. I'm not saying don't do those games that you're super passionate about. I'm just saying being aware of what's likely to happen when you're doing these. If you are a straight variety streamer that goes from different genres, bouncing around from one AAA title to the next as a smaller broadcaster, and these don't have many congruencies, you'll find that your viewer retainment rate may not be as high as it could if you were in something like a niche or a genre. So again, we use Western RPGs as an example earlier. If you play Fallout 4 and then you go and you play Skyrim, and those are 2 Bethesda games specifically, but they have similar gameplay style. They have sort of a similar way of delivering story content. Viewers know what they're going to get. You go from those, you go play The Witcher. Viewers are going to be more likely to stick around because chances are it's a subject they're already interested in. If you go from playing Super Mario Maker to Dead Souls, I mean, it happens. There's a good chance that people won't watch you because they're really not interested in that subject. You'll always have that core base that is the most important of people who will watch you no matter what, and that's fantastic, but that takes a while to get to. So you just have to learn what's happening behind the scenes. So again, I do space games. When I go and I do Star Citizen and then I do Elite Dangerous, I'll have everybody yelling about which one's better. But normally they're engaged with, yeah, look at this. We're gonna get a fist fight later.
Which one's better? No, we won't go into that.
So yeah, find your space. Bigger games are not necessarily better. There are things you can do to find these different opportunities. A good thing to do is to look to the most anticipated indie games list, see what's coming out this year, what's soon to be released. Keep an eye out on also the big games that are most anticipated for the year, so that you know what the landscape is going to be. Best-selling Steam titles is also a really good thing. Go through and look through on Steam, what is selling super well that maybe nobody's playing on Twitch. It happens all the time where there's the top 10 games list and 1 or 2 in there, there's nobody playing it. If you can go do that, you probably will pick up a lot of viewers who are on Steam who want to see this gameplay live before they commit to purchasing.
Yeah, a lot of viewers lately have taken to watching Twitch streams instead of reading game reviews. So if you have access to a new game, especially if it's an alpha or beta, that's a really good way to attract viewers because they're looking for, you go to Twitch and you go to browse and it shows all the games that are being streamed and whatnot. And if you can get in on some of these new games that are coming out that don't have a lot of streamers out there, you can attract a lot of casual viewers who can then be converted into regular viewers, hopefully, by the quality of your stream.
All right. Month 5, build your community. You need to really take a month to sit down and analyze your community. Create spaces to engage with viewers outside of your broadcast. This is sort of basic stuff, but you'll be amazed how often it gets missed, and it is incredibly important. Having an active Twitter, having a Discord channel, by the way, they are awesome. They are here as well, and such a good service. People will congregate in your Discord channel because they can hook it up to all their other, Discord areas, their different Discord servers, and they will talk outside of your stream. At a far higher level than they would normally in our Twitch chat. Sometimes, I'll go when I'm not broadcasting and I'll look at my chat and there's people talking there. But when I switched to Discord for that stuff, suddenly people are having conversations all the time. And when they're in your community, when they are on brand, for a larger part of the day, they'll be thinking about you more. They'll be more likely to return and to get your friends involved as well.
And for anybody who's not familiar, Discord is a relatively new free chat and voice service, like TeamSpeak, Skype, all that stuff.
Yeah, but one that's secure and easy and good.
It's very cool. We like it.
So you need to develop the culture of your community, whether that is tied to your identity and your brand or not, whether silliness is really encouraged. It's always, I think that's fun. My mascot channel, or the channel mascot is a pink fluffy unicorn for me, and every time somebody subscribes, it plays a song about pink fluffy unicorns, and that's just is what we do. People like it. I don't fully understand it, but you embrace it. Create well-defined rules and expectations for your community as well, and make sure that your moderators understand those as well. Your chat is only as toxic as you let it, and it is only as friendly as you facilitate. If you really encourage people to be good to one another, to be radical, they will be. You need to
use the word radical. I've got to stop you there. As in like
tubular.
1980s.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
We're gonna roll with that.
No comment.
I do want to say, that is so important. Like if I go around to look at somebody's channel and I see that their chat is completely disgusting and toxic and horrible, moderators are so important. Because if I look at that, I say, I don't really want to promote you because you don't look great for our game. If I put you on our channel and our core community are not going to watch you, they're going to say, actually, I don't think that this looks good for your brand. Mm-hmm. So, do moderate your chat. That's so important. And unfortunately, you can't always do that as effectively as you'd like, and it's not always that easy.
Yeah.
But, build contacts, build people who are already in your community, and ask those guys to help you moderate your channels and chats and things like that. I'm sure lots of you are already doing that sort of thing. I might be teaching you as like expert.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you have to be PG or squeaky clean or anything like that. If you really like the straight trolling aspect of Twitch and you kind of want that for yourself, that's okay. But make sure that you're making a knowing decision about that. No, it's really not okay. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Please.
What we're trying to say is
nice
that
to each other.
You can control this. You can control it as much as you want to. So just be aware of what's affecting it. Engage and interact with your viewers in a sincere way. Show your appreciation. Actually, talk to them a little bit. Make them feel important. That's very, very, very important.
So lie?
Yes. Lie to your viewers and say that you love. No, love your viewers. What's wrong with you?
Love your viewers.
They're enabling you. When somebody shows up, it doesn't matter how many people there are. Like if I normally get 300 viewers and I have a day where I've got 120 viewers, instead of getting bummed out, there's 120 people who showed up to watch and are there to support you. That is amazing. If you normally have 10 viewers and you have 3 that day, give those 3 guys the best show that they have ever seen in their lives because they showed up for you, and that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Love your viewers. Love them.
That was the best point yet. That was the best one. Well done.
Passionate about this. Get the fire. Group games. Play group games with them sometimes. It's always a good thing to do. You don't have to do it all the time because it does disrupt your normal content schedule. But if you're playing a multiplayer game, you can get like your subscribers or even your like game with subscribers involved with that stuff. Go do that. They really will appreciate you spending time with them once in a while. It's good to do. A simple way to do this is maybe take an hour every once in a while and do something like a Jackbox game. Go do or you could do like a group Cards Against Humanity kind of thing. That's always fun. It's always good. So go do those and never focus on the numbers. Again,
never focus on the numbers. Even to the point where I actually stream twice a week from the Frontier Developments account. Which is the company that make Elite Dangerous. And I do 2 streams a week. And I actually go out of my way to hide the numbers when I'm streaming, just so I can be so focused. If there are, like you say, 4 people, I can just focus entirely on being on my A game. Because if I'm glancing up at the numbers and going, oh, there are only 20 people, like it does, as much as you can try and pretend to be as enthusiastic as possible, like it's better to hide and just pretend there are thousands of people and this is your moment. That's the way I do it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a bit left field and a bit weird.
No, that's good. We're all weird.
I don't show up unless I have 1,000 people.
Calls it for the day. Sorry, guys. We're getting home. Month 6. We're going to roll a little bit faster here. Your community is a talent pool waiting to happen. Make your mods more than mods. You can make a small, focused staff group of trustworthy viewers with different skills. I'm kind of Machiavellian with my moderators. I try to single out individuals who are good at stuff that I'm not good at. And I try to bring them into the fold, especially if they're already helping people out. Like, that's what I look for, is if they're already being moderators without ever having asked for the title, that's a good first step. And I try to keep my mod group as small as possible because it's more likely that you will have fewer problems that way in terms of making sure that everybody understands the same rules and expectations. That's incredibly, incredibly important. But if I'm like terrible at web development and one of my moderators is good at web development, I will enable him to help me if he really wants to. It's good to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff because you can bring this really cool talent pool together who can help support you and lift you up. So yeah, choose people who will work well together and are helpful. Make sure that they don't hate each other. This is sort of basic stuff. These helpers will be your confidants, your support group, your marketing team, and your advocates. They will probably do so much more for you than you would ever imagine, just because you showed a little bit of faith in them. Month 7, monetization. If you have not taken a little while to sit and review your monetization, this is something that is important. This isn't an attractive subject to think about, but as a broadcaster, if you do this long enough, there is a chance that one day someone is going to want to throw money at you. It's important to understand how to handle that in a smart way, and don't just, stick your head in the ground about it. It's important to realize that every single piece of money that comes your way, yes, each money's is taxable if you're in the U.S. Just keep that in mind. There's a lot of broadcasters who start getting an income and they think, wow, I can quit my job right now. They quit their job. Tax season comes and they realize that they're self-employed now and 40% of that is taxable and they owe a lot and they can't do it. That hurts. Don't ever make that mistake. Just keep an eye out on what's happening. If you do run affiliate programs, review those every once in a while. Try to review the way that you are pushing those out. Make sure that they're effective, that people can access them. If they're not really effective, maybe you reconsider even having them and you focus on promoting what does work. If you have a Patreon or GameWist page, just take a little while to really review them and make sure that they are being effective in their messaging so that people understand what it is that you're trying to do, what you want to get across with those. And before you consider streaming full time, if you are sort of close to that step, make sure you can handle your revenue dropping in half, just in case the worst happens. There are yearly up-down cycles on Twitch, and they're slightly different depending on what genre you're in, but normally around summertime, viewership kind of decreases around Twitch, and if you haven't experienced that before, suddenly the amount of traffic that you get, the amount of support that you get can tank. And if you're not ready for that, it can be devastating.
I got some very emotional calls from Baron last summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite nice. I was his support network for a while.
Yeah.
It was good, but I mean, obviously, you just sort of stuck to it, and this was a couple of years ago now, obviously.
No, this was last year.
Oh.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
So a little background. I had like 500 subscribers. I was doing really well. I was really jazzed about it, and this was coming off of spring. And then since I'm specifically Space Sims, there's stopped being any Space Sim content for a while. There's stopped being big releases. Thank you guys for that. Developing that. Taking your sweet time. Especially you over there with Star Citizen. The worst. Okay, so for a few months, it really dipped down. Traffic dipped by 90%. My Patreon and my subscriber count fell in half. And I thought that I was going to be at the point where I wasn't going to be able to do this anymore. It was extremely stressful. I hated it. And it was taking all the fun out of streaming. It worked out for the best. Come fall, there was more content, and it shot back up again, and I got to 1,000 subscribers, and it was really cool. Jumped like 750 subs in a month, and it was unreal. But it shows you that it can go back up. There's never any set point where it is rock bottom or it is the peak, because it's always an undulating wave. What's important is after a couple of years, after 2 or 3 years, you can look at that and say, okay, this has been the trend. It's gone up and it's gone down, but how has it equaled out? So make sure that you're just aware of these things. Be safe about it. Month 8, building your brand. We've already talked about this, about finding what makes you unique and run with it, but really do it from an actual advertising point of view. If you don't have a style guide from your stream, this is sort of something that not many people have, but I would consider making a style guide. A style guide is something that a lot of companies focus on. This is a sort of a document of your logos, the standards for your logos, your color palette when you're creating stuff. For someone like Ko, for example, that would be like maroon and black and white, for his beanie. That's part of his palette that is on all of his material. And then the fonts that you use on all of your material. You want to make sure that it's unified and cohesive and pretty so that everybody gets the same experience wherever you are. It's little details that make all the difference. Make sure that all of your assets adhere to that style guide. Make sure that your overlays are designed to that. Maybe redesign them every once in a while to make sure that they're as effective as they can be. Make sure they don't take up too much room, for example. Try to be as minimal as you can.
All of this sounds kind of really obvious, and it will be obvious to a lot of you, but you would be surprised when I'm looking through social media channels, when I'm looking for streamers, how difficult it is to find these people because their names are different on Twitter to what they are on YouTube, to what they are on Google. It's really difficult. Like, that uniform branding is so key. I'm always more impressed when I'm handed a nicely designed business card with a website, with an email address, with a simple, easy contact details. And if it looks good and it looks the same as your Twitter account, which looks the same as your YouTube account, which looks the same as everything else, all of your internet presence is all nice and uniform, then I'm more likely to try and get in touch with you, regardless of your numbers. Just because if it looks like you know what you're doing, then you probably know what you're doing, even if you're just starting out.
I was literally about to say, the sad truth of this is that nobody knows what they're doing.
Oh, well, that's it.
A good branding makes it look like you do.
Yeah.
Say again, sorry? Month 8.
Yes. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
I like that. That's attention. Good. You get positive points. Come and see me after class.
Yeah, I mean, the visual side of things is so important. Just keeping your appearances up. You could seriously be the smallest channel in the world, but if you look like you're super professional and that you're a giant channel, that makes an impression on people. Fake it till you make it is absolutely a thing.
We're all faking it.
You good
Someday
on 8?
We'll make it.
We move on?
Yeah, are you okay with us moving to the next slide, please, sir? Thank you.
All right, we're good. Number 9, you don't have to wait until month 9 to do this, but you need to network with other streamers. You probably shouldn't wait until month 9 to do this. But if you've gone this far and you've done this literally, then this is the point where you need to say, okay, I should start talking to people. The reason we put it after the other one is once you have a cohesive identity, once you know what you want to do, what your goals are, what your brand is, it's a lot easier to reach out to other streamers and communicate who you are. Because whether it's other people you want to work with who are in like a similar size and space to you, whether you want to start hooking up with some larger broadcasters and maybe hope that they can take you under their wing a little bit. If you have a solid appearance and brand, that's going to speak so much about your dedication to what you do and your work ethic. It's good. Reach out to similarly sized streamers. Always try to work with people. Let's dump the idea of competitors. If there are a bunch of people who stream the game that you do around the same time that you do, you need to stop looking at them as rivals if you do that and look at them as potential opportunities. How can you leech off them? Work with those guys. Look at this. This is friendship. We got the two space game behemoths up there. But every opportunity is out there for cross-promotion.
I've been described as a behemoth before.
Yeah, a behemoth.
But I like it. I'm going to tell you, I really like it.
Not to be confused with behemoth.
Yes.
So.
No, to be confused.
Yeah,
with.
to be confused.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, promote each other. A unified community is always stronger together. It really is. When we run a stream team and we have streamers who are a little bit smaller, but who operate on a similar time schedule, when they do stuff together and they multi-stream, their overall audience is larger. They'll get more traffic to both of their channels, and people will be more excited about it.
Yeah, and if I'm watching again, it genuinely is my job to do influencer management and things like that. So although I'm community content manager, which is a really made up dumb title, community management is such a weird thing. But it is my job to reach out to influencers, reach out to YouTubers and streamers and things like that. And if I see a group of streamers, like somebody I know, and I'll be watching the stream that I know, and then they're referencing like a friend that they've made who's also streaming and also playing the game, and they're grouping up together, I'll do a lot of research into what these groups are doing and what these streamers are doing, and then I'll find some real gems in there. So do make a lot of friends. One thing I would say, which is it's not like a huge disagreement, but it's like, like being taken under your wing by a bigger streamer. I think that it's more important that you make your own sort of networks on your level and grow those level of things. Yeah. And if you're lucky enough to get a big streamer who takes you under the wing, then that's cool. But I wouldn't rely on that. Is what I'm saying. Those guys are busy.
I have never really had that privilege of being able to work with people who are a lot larger than I am, particularly because I've been so focused on making sure that my people are happy. But
I would just say don't rest your hopes on getting somebody to take you under the wing. That's not going to be the end of all your problems.
If you work hard, you may wake up one day and figure out that suddenly you are the big guy who has a team that people want to be on.
Yes, and when you do that and when you are in that position, if any of you do get to that point, and I genuinely wish the best for all of you guys, remember that you were at this panel one time, and do take people under your wing and just support each other and love each other and be nice and everyone love each other. This is like a hippie. Turning into a hippie fest right here.
Far out, man.
We've hugged so many times on this panel. We're just going to do one big hug at the end.
What's the phrase? A rising tide raises all boats?
Exactly. It's 100% true. It really is. And we say it a lot. So, month 10, begin querying developers.
Is it Christmas yet?
Almost. This is when stuff starts coming out. Go out on the content offensive. You need to start writing letters to developers of the games that you're interested in that are short, polite, and convey your interest in their titles, as well as a brief summary of your channel's focus, your numbers, and how you can help promote. When you write an inquiry letter to a developer, you do not need to be a big person to do this. You just have to know what they're interested in and how to be polite about it. Chances are, if you are really, really nice, they will respond nicely to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What are you?
We're looking at this thing.
I'm reading this.
Wait,
this is the important bit
talk
for
to
us.
us?
Yeah, like what? No, I'm joking. Yeah, absolutely. Get involved. I've got so many points here, but like too much. We've only got like 20 minutes.
We'll go over this in just a minute. We have a longer section for the developers.
Honestly, I've just got so. Do you want me to talk through really quickly some of my points? Because I can speak very, very quickly.
I've got a panel for it. I've got a slide for your points. I've got a whole slide for your points.
Oh my God.
All right, refine your products. Revisit your channel if you haven't done so in a while. Once you've been working on your stuff for a while and you really get into the groove of content creation, it's easy to forget to go back and to watch your stuff and to revisit and just check on everything. Make sure that it's good. Make sure that, you're going to learn a lot doing this. You're going to learn a ton every single day. So it's worthwhile to go back, look at your panels again, look at your overlays, look at your alerts, look at your performance as an entertainer, and just see if it's as up to standard as it can be.
Can you go back to month 10, please?
No, we're moving on. What was that, month 11?
What happened to month?
Wow, we have 2 month 11s. Amazing. All right, month 11.2, a.k.a. the Decembering.
Oh, it was a test.
Month 11, attention to detail.
Yeah. So if you come by the Stream Academy booth that we have set up, I have like one of the posters. We have a bullet point there that says "improve your communication," but it says "improve your communication." And,
yes, of all the words to misspell, Communication.
I checked it a million times. I had other people check it. Nobody caught it. So I posted it on YouTube. Somebody said, "Hey, is that a joke?" So I put a little Kappa pin right next to it, and then, you move on. So get ready for cons. This is month 12 or month January or month 11 part 2, wherever we are on. PAX is the best networking opportunity for streamers of all sizes. This is the coolest event in the world. It is amazing. It is better than E3 for you. It is better than Gamescom for you. It is unlike nothing else. You will meet other streamers. You will meet developers. You will meet publishers and PR professionals. You will meet people who are in this industry who you never even imagined you could talk to, who are excited about what you do. Everybody is here, and everybody is wanting to talk to people because we all share the same interests. I mean, this is why we're here. We're here to get to know each other, and because we're passionate about what we do. Whether that was originally because about Penny Arcade, or now it's about your favorite games developers are here, whether your favorite entertainers are here. This is a cool event, so take advantage of it.
I very specifically have a point here that I've written. Do you want me to, can I do this now while it's relevant?
Yeah.
It's okay? Thank you. So I try to, I'm going to read this almost word for word. I try to email everybody back that sends me a message, but in honesty, it's really, really, really tough to do. I have, people with OCD who look at like email inbox and it says like 1,000 unread, and people are like, no. You always have to get rid of all of your emails. Do you know people like that? Mm-hmm. Well, mine is disgusting, and you would be horrified with the amount of unread emails I have. I think I have 70,000 unread emails. It is unbelievable how many emails I get. But I try to, but it's just a common human trait that it makes it very, very difficult to respond to absolutely everybody. But it's a common human trait that if you meet somebody in person, face to face, then you are going to be more likely to reply to them, right? Mm-hmm. So if you come to me with an awesome business card, like I said before, give me a business card and say, I'm just starting out, but I really like the look of the game. I think it looks really cool. I'd really love to run it on my channel, and then send me an email as soon as you get home, and just be like, I'm the guy you met at PAX. Like, make it really clear, like, met you at PAX, blah, blah, blah. Like, I am 100% more like, not 100%, that's ridiculous, but I can't put a percentage on it, but I'm a lot more likely to respond to you based on that. So meeting people in person is so, so, so important. Show you're keen, like I said. Show that you want to, tell me about your plans to take over the world and how you're going to be massive. Take any chance you can get to meet other members in the specific games community as well. One thing that you do is great is that you did the Bad News Gaming community, and you have those guys on a Discord channel, and then you all meet up and you took those guys out for drinks and things like that. And it was just, not everybody has the budget to do that, but if you find people, if you're a streamer of Elite Dangerous, why wouldn't you be? But if you were a streamer of Elite Dangerous, of course, thanks DJ Knight, there you go. Meet up with other streamers who are playing Elite Dangerous and really, really grow and shape those communities. And also, we're getting really wise in the industry. The industry's getting wiser in terms of live streaming from events. So we're streaming right now today from PAX. In fact, if you look on our Twitter account, you'll see who's streaming right now from PAX downstairs. Get involved in that. I didn't care if the guys who were asking to stream had 1 follower, 1 subscriber, 2, 1,000, 10,000. I was just like, no, great, stream the game. It just got people talking on Twitter, talking on Twitch, talking everywhere about our game. PAX South. You search for PAX South, you'll see that Elite Dangerous is in there. It was a really smart way of doing it. So get involved in those, and don't be afraid to ask. Meet people in person. Super important points, in my opinion. I know I said them, but I think they're still important.
Yeah. I've been stopped many times on the show floor this weekend, and every time I say I'm Ed Lewis, and I walk away. No, it's a fantastic way of meeting people, and I've already started you'll meet somebody and they'll say, yeah, and he goes, can I email you? And yeah, and you give them your email address, and then you're 2 booths away and your phone dings and you've got the email. Yeah. And you're like, all right, that's that person. Well, you make a little note and make sure you can get back to them and stuff. But
you remember it, right?
Absolutely.
You 100% will get back because they've put that effort in, and they're trying so hard to get your attention, and that sounds like they're try-hards. It's not that. It's enthusiasm. And also, on that point, to some extent, of emailing people, like emailing us, if developers and publishers don't reply, keep trying. We're the ones who feel embarrassed and awkward, not you guys. We're the ones who are really sorry for not being able to reply back in time.
When you have that inbox of 80,000 emails.
Oh, my dad's got a better TV than your dad.
No, yeah. When you have that inbox of tens of thousands of emails will get missed. It's not personal. It's not anything against you and whatnot. So it's okay to check in once in a while, and we all do our best to make sure we get it to everybody at some point.
Just be polite.
Yeah,
Just be polite. Oh my god.
Genuinely, another one. Be nice and be our friend.
Be polite.
Somebody's
and use,
that chap
use
over there's
spell
got a
checker.
question, but I think you're going to try and do just sort of 10 minutes of questions very soon, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Yeah. Can we go back to month 10, please?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely do it. Go on.
And this is a quick point that this doesn't get talked about a lot, but this is extremely important, I think, for
He actually genuinely
for
wanted you to go back
broadcasters.
to 10.
This is easily the most.
We'll have cliff notes online. It'll be good. You can go to the Stream Academy
someone
website.
can
We'll talk
find
about
all
this stuff.
this, yeah.
Enroll in the course. It'll be fun. Stay motivated, please, as entertainers. A lot of creative individuals, we tend to have really, really high emotional highs and really low emotional lows. For people who are putting themselves out and broadcasting, this is a day-to-day thing. So if you don't have, the best viewership or things are trending down for a little while, please, please do not get upset about this. There's whoever does show up, we talked about this earlier, but whoever does show up is so very important. And your audience does not reflect upon you as a person. It does. As long as you are having fun, as long as you are focusing on what matters, just keep that in mind and just expect that things will go up and things will go down, and to take it all in the mix.
And you have to be having fun. If you're not having fun, why would your viewers be having fun? They can see that. When you're unhappy or you're unmotivated or you're uninterested, they will be too. So you have to stay motivated. You have to have fun. It's that simple.
This is something that affects me sometimes too. I mean, I start a stream, I get really enthusiastic about the stream to start off with. Viewership doesn't get where I want it to be, where it starts going kind of lower, and I get discouraged by that. And because I'm getting discouraged, I kind of lose my energy a little bit because I'm starting to get a little bit sad. Because I'm getting sad, I'm not as entertaining. Because I'm not as entertaining, my viewership's going lower. Because my viewership's going lower, I'm getting more upset. It's a really, really vicious cycle. But it's something you can change and you can affect.
It's pretty grim, wasn't it, at that point that you just made that?
I'm saying.
Yeah. Just
On the other side of things, such a depressing panel now. Yeah. On the other side of things, if despite it all, you are putting on the best show of your life and you've got all this energy, then people are going to respond to that. They will tell people, and you're going to reverse that trend so fast. That will kick you out of your funk, and it'll be awesome. All right, let's get to the working with developers section of this.
Yes.
Really,
Super
how much
quick,
time do we have left?
I'm just going to read these out. Honestly, like my 80,000 emails, or no, like my 100,000 emails that I've got. I like my 100,000 emails in my inbox. There's a lot of words on this, but I would be more than happy to share these details with you. I am on the Elite Dangerous booth downstairs for the next 3-4 hours. I've got a stream at 1:15 from the XSplit thing as well about Elite Dangerous, so please do come and stand around and watch that as well. But I'd be more than happy to give you these details, because I think that it'd be awesome to work with you. I really want to cover just really quickly my Pioneer program as well.
Yeah.
So we at Frontier Developments, look at me showing off. I devised a program. I devised a program called the Pioneer Program, which is all about working with guys like yourselves, streamers, and that includes an affiliate link. It includes links that you can make money by selling copies of the game and stuff like that. But that for me is not the main point about what it's all about. It's all about creating a support network, working with you guys to create engaging and interesting content, giving you giveaways and things like that to keep people coming back to your streams, doing things like getting people down to events. I mean, DJ Knight right there, he's one of our guys. Say hi, DJ Knight, there he is. He's one of our guys in the Pioneer program, and he's absolutely awesome. I think you might even be part of it.
Yeah,
but it's like, streamers big and small, really, really doesn't matter. We've got loads of lanyards here, like loads. So I'm going to run away in a minute to do, about 10 minutes. But would you hand some, come to the front and grab some of these lanyards?
Not right now.
Not right now. Afterwards.
God, what have you done?
Or come and find me and I can give you one there. There's full details of the Pioneer program. I guess what my point is, a lot of companies will do these sorts of things too. I don't know if Cloud Imperium have a similar thing.
Yep, it's actually illegal right now.
They're absolutely. It's all. And obviously, different types of games will have different levels of these types of programs. And all of this advice that we're giving today is different depending on the company. That's very, very important to note. I can speak for myself and for what we do at Frontier Developments, but I can't speak for everybody. But I think that any progressive publisher, any community management team worth their salt will have somebody who's dedicated to influencers. So it's very, very important, and that's point one. Research who you should be speaking to at the developer publisher. Don't just blanket email the external marketing email thing, because no one's going to pick that up. What I recommend is finding out, it's usually the community team, right, these days? No disrespect to any publishers or PR departments, but they're dealing with the big traditional media outlets. They're dealing with the PC Gamers, the Edge magazine, things like that. Whereas the community team are going to be definitely dedicated, because the industry is wising up a lot to community teams as well, and the importance of community and the importance of community engagement. So based on that point is that we're in a transition state where we're getting a lot of more sort of respect, I think, and a lot more, well, I certainly am, I don't know about you, but like a lot more...
Respect?
No, the respect's not the right word. When you have lots of things to do, responsibilities.
There you go.
I'm going to get that, it's all right. I've said a lot of
Plenty
words
of
already.
responsibilities.
Good job.
No respect.
No respect, but lots of responsibilities. I do. I genuinely think this isn't about community management, but I mean, I wish it was. But I do think that it is getting more respect in the industry, and with that more respect in the industry, we're getting more responsibilities and more trust from within the industry. So find out who that is. Find out which community manager that you want to speak to. I honestly cannot strongly recommend this enough. Contact the developer of the game that you're playing and tell them you're playing it. When you're tweeting about it, tell them you're playing. When you're playing it, tweet about it. Tag them in there. Find the right person. Find the community manager. DJ Knight, who I just gave as an example. Okay, this is an important one. I gave DJ Knight as an example. He adds me into every tweet. My personal account.
Yes.
Into every single tweet. Do you get it as well?
Yes.
Yeah. But you think about him, right? No, but my point is, you think about him think about him too much almost. No, but like
Please stop, DJ. Please stop.
He's at the forefront of my mind, to the point
Always.
where I have just used him as an example in a panel where there are hundreds of people watching, right? So just engage with the right people, contact the right people, and don't be afraid to be persistent and tenacious without being I'm trying to find a nice word.
Whole.
Yeah, that's right. That's one point. What's the next one? Difference between developer and publisher. Just do some research.
I think we've gone through a lot of this.
Yeah. Be nice to be our friend. That's so important. Size and everything. Done that. Meet personal events. Yeah.
If at this point, if you have questions, by the way, and you want to line up, we'll be taking some questions, and we'll also be available after I'll be available after the panel as well. If you
The
guys
nice
want to
man over there just held a very...
we might have to do this outside.
Yep, we got some mics up here. How much do we got?
We could answer one question. He's held a sign for 5 minutes.
One question, 5 minutes.
But if you want to ask questions, can people meet you at your booth?
Yeah, at my booth, I'll be hanging outside here, and they'll be down at the Stream Academy booth, and I'll talk about that real quick in just a second.
Do come and see us at Elite Dangerous as well. We're at the Elite Dangerous booth downstairs. And
Stop promoting. He's got a question, man.
No, sorry. All right, go.
Can you bring up month 10? No,
That's
seriously.
it, folks. Good night.
Come on, please.
If you have questions, we'll see you outside, and you can see us down at the Stream Academy booth.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.